All right, and welcome everybody. This is Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is In God We Still Trust, the podcast. Want to welcome you all to the show. Hope everybody's doing well today. This has been a wonderful week. This is going to be the show is going to really focus a lot around today about probably the most exciting news of our lifetime, and that is peace in the Middle East. I'm really excited about that. Got so much to talk about, really do. Hopefully everybody went to church today. I had a church service early this morning, and hopefully everybody else was able to get out there too. And been out there to. And actually, I want to thank all the folks at church who blessed my wife and I. Today is a Pastor Appreciation Day, and so I want to thank you all for blessing us. It's a pleasure being your pastor. It's a pleasure being out there and jamming for the Lamb with all of you folks. And that's what we just call it, just jamming for the Lamb, right? As you can tell, I'm catching this little bit of a cold, and so from time to time I'm going to, mute the microphone just so I could snarfle a little bit, but hopefully it won't be too bad of a thing that's going on, and we'll just keep moving forward. So let's start with this. The show is really about a wrap up of the week, what things have been going on during the week, and hopefully that. If you've missed anything, folks, these are probably some of the highlights of the week. And I think nothing could probably start us off better than talking about Jack Smith. Jack Smith is a career prosecutor, former special counselor, or special counsel. He allegedly tracked, and this is a Fox News story, allegedly tracked the private communications and phone calls of nearly a dozen Republican senators as part of his investigation in the January 6, 2021 riots. And this is amazing. They said a document reviewed by Fox News revealed that Jack Smith and his Arctic Fox team, very interesting, investigating January 6 were allegedly tracking the phone calls of not one, not two, not three, six state senators. These are including Lindsey Graham, Marsha Blackburn, Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, Josh Hawley, Cynthia Loomis, I didn't know who she was, Bill Hagerty, knew who he is, Dan Sullivan, Tommy Tuberville. Why would you ever investigate Tommy Tuberville? And Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania. This is amazing. It's a huge scandal, folks. Not just a little bit of a scandal. This is huge. This is tantamount to the Watergate conspiracy. You cannot just go out and start wiretapping people's phones and checking to see what they're doing and why they're doing it and who they're speaking to. This is, as a matter of fact, Lindsey Graham was so incensed by this that he almost lost it. The article goes on to say the document recently discovered by FBI's Director Kash Patel dates back to September 27th of 23 and refers to the FBI Cellular Access Survey Team, or the CAST team. The document, which has names of FBI agents involved, redacted, marks of the case ID as Arctic Fox. This is just incredible. The document states the names of the lawmakers and that an FBI special agent on Smith's team conducted preliminary toll analysis on the toll records associated with the lawmakers. And here's the deal. So during the January 6th, that's called skirmish, a number of people believed that certain senators were involved in this. And so Jack Smith took it upon himself to say, hey, guess what? I think we're going to go ahead and track their phone calls and see if they're calling anybody they want. And here's the interesting thing about this whole thing, folks, is that they're finding out that over 270, I believe the number is, 270 of the people that were a part of the January 6th uprising were actually FBI agents. Yeah, this is crazy. What does that mean? They were plants. They were plants inside of the January 6th people that assembled there, that went to the Congressional House to voice their opinions, and They were being egged on. I've been watching video after video after video on this. This is almost crazy that the amount of coercion, the amount of setting up that was done by these FBI agents. Now you put on top of this Jack Smith going around trying to, spy on these senators. Heads are going to roll. There's just absolutely no way things are not going to stay the same. In a non-related story, guys, there's another story. This is out of Breitbart, and this is a Breitbart story. And it talks about and you probably heard about this, the sanctuary city. Wow. I'm going to read the title for it. It says, Sanctuary City, Chicago, reportedly orders its police to ignore attacks on ICE. And this was huge this week. Sanctuary City, Chicago has reportedly ordered its police force to refuse to help ICE agents who were under siege by increasingly violent protesters in support of criminal illegal aliens. And this, once again, was one of these stories that you just could not believe. Normally what happens, if police officers are in desperate need of somebody, they will come to the aid of their fellow brother police officers. In an obtained audio dispatch of what was going on, these officers who were en route to help protect these ICE agents, who had been basically they were guarding an ICE facility, and there was a group of people that were around them, and they were getting bigger and bigger, and they ran their cars into the building, that kind of stuff, and they asked for backup. They said, "Hey, we need help here, guys, because we're under siege here." Police officers started going that direction. All of a sudden, the dispatcher says, "We're not going there. Turn around, you guys. Hold. Don't even ask. Don't go towards that facility. We are not going to answer their calls for help." And this is crazy. This goes beyond crazy. These ICE agents are doing what Congress told them to do. Congress makes up the laws. ICE agents carry out the laws of the land. Okay? ICE agents don't make up laws. Okay? ICE agents do not make up a list of people that they're going to pick up. Okay? They carry out the laws that are designated to them. And it seems to me like there's a lot of people who really just are they're upset at the fact that these ICE agents are doing their job, the job that they were hired to do. Well, now they find themselves in trouble, and you would think other ICE or other police officers would back them up. Didn't happen. And here's the crazy thing about it also, is that the department head said, "No, it's a lie. It's a lie. We never gave that call. We never gave a call to stand down." Here's the problem. It was recorded. It was the dispatch was recorded and was disseminated. People heard this, where the lady said, "We are not going to answer this. Stand down, guys. Don't go in that direction." Where have we gone as a country? That's our problem. Where have we gone as a country where we're saying to our fellow people, "No, we're not going to protect you. We're not going to adhere to the laws of the land"? This is where it gets, I think this is where the rubber hits the road. That we've got to decide in our own country, are we going to be a nation of laws, or are we going to be a nation of, anarchy? And that's the crazy part about it. And that's the question we're going to answer in our next segment. This is Pastor Sherman Ray for In God We Still Trust. We will be back in just a second, folks. This next next section, you are going to love. We'll be back in just a minute. Stay tuned. Did you hear that? That is pretty amazing. Hey, I want to welcome you once again, folks, to In God We Still Trust. I'm Pastor Sherman Ray. And we come to you every Sunday about noon. We're a little late today, folks. Today was Pastor Appreciation Day, and so I went out with some folks that go to our church, and they treated us to breakfast. Yummy, yummy. So we're a little late, but we're going to try to really be on schedule with this every Sunday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, so you can check us out. You can also write to us at ingodwestilltrust1@gmail.com. That's ingodwestilltrust1@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And also, you can get this broadcast on Apple Podcasts. You can get it on Spotify. Go to our YouTube channel. Love to be on our YouTube channel. We're on Facebook. We're all over the place, just all over the place. I hope you're able to join us. This show is really all about a wrap up, some of the most amazing stories that happened this week, and I think things that you as I don't know, Bible believing folks should be aware of this, because some of you are voting for this. Kind of like the 400,000 plus people have already voted in, I believe it's in Chicago. Where are they voting at? Where's Jay Johnson at? I don't even know where he was at. Here's the gist of this story with Jay Jones. Many of you heard about Jay Jones. This is a National Review article, and it says Jay Jones' texts are a frightening peek into a bleak moral world view, and this is amazing. It says greetings. It's Jay Jones, Democrat nominee for Virginia Attorney General, back in 2021, I believe it was, 2023, wrote a text message. And in that text message, he said some of the most vile things that you can imagine somebody saying about your political opponent. And one of the things he says that there, you've got two bullets that you can fire from this gun, and one you could shoot at Pol Pot, and the other one you could send at to your political opponent. And Jay Jones basically said, yeah, you know what, give them both to my political opponent. Oh, let's make it even better. Let's have his kids watch. When he said that, and it was a text message, it went through the blogosphere like you would not believe. When people got a hold of this, it's maddening. He got a hold of this text, and they said to themselves, I cannot believe this guy would actually say something like this, because this is like scary. This is scary bad. This is not very good. This is scary bad that somebody would say this about their political opponent. Not only that, but he wants to be the lead dog, the lead elected official who is in charge of policing. So this is crazy, guys. Now, how can this guy go, you know what? Yeah, I want to be your top cop, but I'm morally decadent. I have moral deficiency, and that's the gist of this National Review piece. Who wrote this National Review piece? Jeffrey Blahar. And he says, I assume that I don't need to rehearse the disgusting revelations about Jay Jones for you, but I'm going to anyways. Jones is a Democrat nominee for Virginia's Attorney General in November's off-year election, running against incumbent Jason Myers. Jones, a former blah, 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 blah. I got to get to that. And it turns out that he's also a moral monster of the first degree. This is written by an opinion poll. He said, and eerily familiar at that. National Review's own Audrey Fahlberg broke the story nationally with her blockbuster reporting about texts back in 22. It goes on to say, I got to read this whole thing. This is amazing. It says that should his opponents predecease him, he would go to their funerals and piss on their graves. What? To send them out awash in something was eyebrow raising, but also nothing a historically minded reader would have put past Lyndon Johnson, This is amazing. It says, it was when he continued to muse out loud to Conyers that he revealed the scorpions lurking inside of his brain. This is interesting. So this Lyndon Johnson had the same sort of thing. He declared if he was trapped in a room with a gun, 2 bullets alongside Hitler, Pol Pot, and Todd Gilbert, and this was then the Republican Speaker of the State House, he would shoot Gilbert twice. Again, you might say, well, this is merely a variant of an old and crude joke, but lest you think that Jones merely sent a bad text in haste, okay, make that a series of bad texts. He then called Conyers, explaining himself all too clearly. You see, Jones was not speaking lightly. He wasn't even kidding on the square. In that joking but not really joking manner people often use to passive-aggressively voice their true thoughts, no, he proceeded to make an impassioned argument in defense of the slaughter of the innocent. This is amazing. In his call, he declared that he thought at least some Republicans deserved to die for their politics, and he extended his death warrant to their children as well, for punitive, persuasive, and societal hygienic reasons. Basically, let's just wipe out your family. We just want to get rid of all your family. Here's the deal, folks. Winsome Sears, who is also running for governor of Virginia, put this question to her opponent, Abigail Spanberger, and she said, you cannot stand behind this guy. And guess what Spanberger said? Yes, his opinion's really bad, but that's pretty much it. Let the people decide whether they like him or not. And you say to yourself, how can you, as somebody who says that you are going to govern this great commonwealth, how can you, as somebody who says, I want to be the governor of this state, say, well, I got really no opinion about this guy? As a matter of fact, you should have not just an opinion, you should have a definite opinion of this guy. Jay Jones is unfit to be the Attorney General of Virginia. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Anybody who would go to this length to talk about their political opponent to such a degree of depravity and is beyond the pale. And guys, here's what, as Christians, we should be doing. We should be looking at our political leaders and saying, are they Christians? Are they above reproach? Are they, there's a whole list of things that we can see. We've seen them in Colossians. We see it in Matthew. We see all these different checklists of what our leaders should be. And if they don't fit that bill, we shouldn't vote for them. There's no way about it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Anybody who would call for the annihilation of your political opponent because they're Republican, oh gosh, you don't need to be here. You just don't need to be running for office. And that's what is going on here right now. 400,000 people have already voted in early voting in Virginia and cannot take those votes back. You can. If you're watching this vote and you know the vote is literally, a couple of weeks away, check this out. Check out the people that you're voting for. Do not vote for somebody who has a moral, a thing going on with them. Okay? Has maybe a mental thing going on with them too. Maybe that's what it is. It's obviously a spiritual thing. Okay? Obviously, spiritually, he's got deficiency. But this guy, I think, maybe just having a mental thing also, because this is scary. We'll be back in just a second, folks. We've got to talk a little bit about one of probably the most historic events that has happened in our lifetime, guys, in our next segment. This is Sherman Ray. This is In God We Still Trust. We'll be back in just a minute. Hold on. All right, and we are back, folks. This is Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is In God We Still Trust. Once again, folks, I want to thank you all for being, excuse me, a part of the broadcast today. And you can check us out every Sunday. We'll have one of these broadcasts up, except for today. Today it was Pastor Appreciation Day, guys, and I was just so excited. We were so blessed, Linda and I, with the gifts from our congregation here in Las Vegas, and so we went out to having a really wonderful time, and so we're a little late today, but we'll try to get this out every Sunday, each and every Sunday, 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So you can count on us for that from going forward, okay? So there was a huge story, folks. It's an AP story. I promised this to you, and this is probably one of the biggest things that's ever happened that we cannot, you can't get around this. The Israeli cabinet approves Trump's plan for a Gaza ceasefire and release of Hamas. That happened a little earlier this week, and then guess who agreed on the other side? Hamas. That's right, Hamas did. Hamas agreed to the ceasefire. President Donald Trump, in the 8 months that he has been in office, has orchestrated 8 different peace accords with nation states across the globe, from Afghanistan to the Congo, Middle East. It's been truly amazing, and this is probably one of the biggest ones. Let me backtrack. Let me tell you what happened here. Some of you may not have known what was going on October 7th, 2 years ago. Hamas, under the leadership of Hezbollah, went into Israel and killed 1,200 people, captured 250 hostages, and have been holding those people for almost 2 years now. Actually, it's been 2 years because it's now the 12th now. And in retaliation for that, Israel said, look, give us our people back, because if you don't, we're going to start bombing Gaza. And we are going to get those people up because Hamas is a terrorist group, and all you want to do is kill us as Israelis. The Palestinians have vowed that they are going to try to kill the Israelis. As a matter of fact, they even said the same thing about Americans, but hey, that's another story. So the Americans, Israelis got together and Israel basically started bombing the heck out of Gaza. Gaza is a very small little part of Israel, and now it is basically a parking lot. 90% of Gaza, the city of Gaza, is obliterated. It's blown up, all in a search for 250 people. Israel told the Philistines, who are the modern day Philistines, they call them Palestinians now, but they're the modern day Philistines. They told them, we want our people back. And if you don't give us our people back, we are going to come in and we're going to get them out. And now, literally 2 years later, they have finally said, we've had enough. We've had enough. The Israelis, along with the Americans, went in and just decimated Gaza. Literally, the Israelis told the people, get out of the cities because we are going to level this city. We're going to find our people. And that's really what happened. It got to the point now where, Hamas basically said, "Okay, we're done. We agreed to your terms. We have nowhere else to go," because the Israelis said, and after President Trump basically said, he said, "Look, if you don't accept this deal, we are going to allow Israel to go in and lay siege over the rest of your country." And they will find you, they will kill you, and that's all there is to it. And they basically gave him a deadline. They said, "Look, you've got a deadline," and Hamas said, "Okay, we agree, Uncle." So 20 components to this peace deal. The first phase is basically returns the hostages. Israel will back off of continuing to shell and to destroy the rest of what's left of Gaza. The next part of this will be actually the hostages starting to come home. hostages must start coming home. We hope and pray that that is going to start Monday, because they had within 72 hours to start finding these hostages. Evidently, there are still 48 hostages still left. 28 of them are presumed to be dead, and 20 of them presumed to be alive. And now Hamas is saying, well, we don't know where the dead ones are at, so we have to go find them. We buried them someplace. And so they're going to have to go and find those bodies. And guess what? The Israelis don't care. Just bring back our people. There's going to be a prisoner exchange, I believe, for the 20 hostages that they're going to allow. I think it's probably 250. Don't quote me on that. Like 250 prisoners who are in Israeli jails right now. Some of them the worst of the worst. But that's the way it's going to start. Phase 2 will be that Hamas has got to start to disarm. And if they don't disarm, folks, guys, guess what? We're going to see probably a return to the bombing. We're going to probably see a return to the precise surgical bombings that Israel has been doing for the last couple of months. At one time, Israel, in order to surgically take out the leadership of Hezbollah, many of you have heard of beepers before, maybe some of you are maybe too young. They had pagers that Hezbollah was using to contact each other. And Israel had invaded their procurement chain, so that Israel was the one who was making all the beepers, the pagers for all of Hezbollah. And they got them all by themselves, and they exploded them. And they took out most of the leadership of Hezbollah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. They went also into Iran, and also precision guided the bombs that America used to take out all of Iran's nuclear facilities. Israel is a formidable host, a formidable force, and has got God on their side. So if I were Hezbollah, if I were Hamas, if I were any of these, the Houthis or anybody like that, I would take them at their word. I would take them at their word that they are going to do everything they can to destroy Hamas. Because Hamas has been sworn, they are part of the Muslim Brotherhood, they're part of the whole Palestinian thing, that they are going to do everything they can to destroy Israel. They want that their saying is from the river to the sea, which means that they're going to wipe the land clean of Israel. And that's where we draw the line. The Bible says that I gave you this land. The Lord gave Abraham all this land. Israel right now only occupies a very small part of the land that God gave them. And they will not give up the rest of this. There's just no way. It doesn't matter. The EU is saying what they want to do, or people in America, or the anti-Semites that are here in America that are trying to say there's a two-state solution or anything like that. There cannot be a two-state solution when one of the people wants the other one dead. There cannot be two people living together if one of them wants the other one dead all the time. So Hamas has to go. There are some great Palestinians there who want to just live in peace. That's wonderful. Could live with them in peace. But the rest of them have to go. Because Israel will not be defeated. God's people will not be defeated. And America will not be defeated. And that you can take to the bank, folks. Anyways, we want to pray for the peace of Jerusalem and hope that by tomorrow, Monday, the 13th, I believe it is, the 13th, that we will start seeing the release of the hostages. And if not, folks, all hell is going to break loose in the Middle East again. Okay? We'll see what happens. Anyways, this has been Pastor Sherman Ray for In God We Still Trust. Thank you once again for being a part of the broadcast, folks. We hope to see you again next week, okay? Next week for In God We Still Trust, starting at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We will be on time, folks. We hope to see you there. You can actually get a copy of this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Get the replay on our YouTube channel. And when you're on our YouTube channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Let us know that you love us, and let us know that you support us, and we would love to hear from you again. This has been Pastor Sherman Ray. for In God We Still Trust. We will see you guys again next week for more In God We Still Trust. Have a wonderful day in the Lord. Bye-bye.